are listening to News Talk 1340 WJRW. John Gonzalez, MLive.com, the Grand Rapids Press, and the Going Gonzo radio show weekdays at 1 o'clock. Today's show brought to you by Mercantile Bank. Visit mercbank.com to find out how you can take your business to the next level. Mercantile Bank here to get you there. And I am here in Traverse City, Michigan. I've been here for a few days. I don't want to leave is the problem. They haven't kicked me out just yet. So I'm going to be doing today's show from Traverse City. Got a lot of great guests lined up for today. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be back in Grand Rapids, although I'm thinking about going to Interlochen on my way leaving Traverse City. So I may get stuck there at the Avett Brothers concert on tonight. So hopefully that may work out. So you never know. I might be doing tomorrow's show from Interlochen. Joining me on the show this afternoon is Doug Stanton. How you doing, Doug?
Great. You've got a great schedule. I envy your work life. You should go to Interlochen.
Well, you've been there, right?
Oh yeah. I taught there. I went to school there, and I live here in Traverse City. So
right.
It's a gem.
Well, and of all the years that I've been in West Michigan, which is about 23 years now, I have driven through, and that's about it.
Really?
Yeah. It's just hard to believe that have not made it up.
Get an ice cream cone at Bud's, play a round of putt-putt golf, and listen to some Stravinsky. I mean, you can do it all.
You can do it all, and of course they have a great concert series too.
Yeah, they do.
Know, they really have this great series out there, which begins. I want to say what's been going on now. I know they got tons of shows happening up there all season long. A lot of the same shows that come to the Meyer Gardens in Grand Rapids. Have you been there, Doug?
What, Grand Rapids?
Yeah, to Meyer Gardens, to the concert series.
No.
And that's a fantastic.
No, I never leave Traverse City, John. I can't, but I can't really go into that either. So
we're talking to Doug because Doug Stanton is.
This is Going Gonzo.
This is Going Gonzo.
Okay.
You never know what's going to happen next year.
If I leave really quickly, don't ask any questions.
Right, exactly. Doug, of course, is the local author.
I'm not sure any of that's correct there. I just don't know.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll just make it up as we go along here. And also the co-founder of the Traverse City National Writers Series. Big event coming up on Tuesday here as part of the National Cherry Festival. Mitch Albom is in town, but this kind of culminates, months of what you guys do at the Writers Series.
Yeah, it does, and we're really excited. July 2nd in the City Opera House in downtown Traverse City. Mitch Albom's on stage with Neil Rubin.
Oh, yeah, I know Neil.
A Michigan institution, Midwestern columnist, so it's going to be great. I actually talked with Mitch, was it 2 years ago? He is hysterical.
Yes.
We talked about his last book. This is a sneak preview about his new book, and we love the partnership with the Cherry Festival. We feel that it brings books to a mass audience for people walking down Front Street. They see these events and they come on inside, and it adds a new dimension for us, and I think a new dimension for the Cherry Festival. It's a really great partnership. So.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope you never know. Maybe I'll come back from Interlochen and come back and see Mitch, because Mitch has been a guest on our show a few times, being in Grand Rapids for a couple different events that he has. And Neil Rubin, I don't think I've had Neil on the show. I should get him on.
You should.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
When I worked at the Free Press, I did for one summer as an intern in college and got to hang out with Neil a little bit and all those crazy guys during that era of the Free Press. So it was a lot of fun. But what led to the Writers Series? In other words, what is the goal of the Writers Series, and what led you to start it?
Well, the National Writers Series, now in its fourth year, we started in 2009, is one of the United States' kind of premier literary events here in Traverse City, here in the Midwest. When Colin McCann, National Book Award winner, was here 2 weeks ago, and he's from Dublin, but he lives in New York and teaches now, and he's got a new book out, Transatlantic. It was on the front page of the New York Times Book Review last Sunday. So Colin gets off the plane at the Cherry Capital Airport. He looks around and goes, so what is it about Traverse City? He goes, how did I end up here? And by the end of his 24 hours here, he said this was one of the best events I'd done in a national book tour.
Wow.
And it's because of the feeling you're getting right now during the Cherry Festival, which is that we're a friendly town.
Yeah.
Everyone opens their arms to these authors. And our job, as I'm an author myself, that's my day job, is to put on the best book event an author can experience on a book tour, with the idea being that we reach hundreds of thousands of people through media and we sell them more books so that they get another book tour. In other words, right now in publishing, as you know,
right,
or in media, or in the news biz, the question is, when you're a writer, how do you reach your readers?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what the National Writers Series is doing well, and being noticed now by New York, is we're answering that question by really promoting these events and really hand selling them. And they're not school, John. It's not like a Q&A or a lecture.
Right.
It's the kind. I used to work for Esquire and Outside, and I did a lot of cover stories on and interviews on people in all kinds of strange places. And so when we get on stage, I try to sit down and have a conversation with them for the magazine story I'll never write.
Right.
But it's that kind of conversation. I try to interview the person, not the book.
Right.
So it's a different experience for the author, and I think, and the audiences here love it. We're very grateful.
Well, I love that approach because writing comes from, in my opinion, in very humble opinion that it is, comes from experiences and, of course, detail. And when you sit there and you talk to someone like we're talking right now, it's a different side of everything, and it's also a different lens of how you see it and how you perceive it. So to me, I think when you sit down with a conversation like we're having right now, you learn a lot, and then to be able to write about that, it's not as easy as it looks sometimes.
It's not, and you got to be a great listener, and writers on stage don't get asked a lot of questions. And I'm thinking now, I mean, this season of Interesting Moments, we started in February. We're ending this Tuesday with Mitch Albom, but we started in February with Chip Johannesson, who is a producer and writer on the television show Homeland. And Homeland is, is a huge show. And so on stage, we talk with Chip about the script, how it's made, and then we show clips on the screen in the City Opera House and talk about the whole process of going from script to screen and what it is about storytelling on television that's so fascinating these days. We've had Gillian Flynn, who's author of Gone Girl, huge bestseller. We've had Nathaniel Philbrick, whose new book, Bunker Hill, is a nonfiction book about history and the American Revolution. Colin McCann was here recently. So we've had over 70 authors in the past, since 2009, and they've all been different. And I guess to answer your question in a nutshell, it's to bring great stories and great conversations to Main Street America and make reading seem like an act as normal and as essential as breathing. Yeah, and it can be, and it is, right? I mean, it really is. We're doing a lot. I mean, I think oddly, I think we're a reading culture more and more in America because of the way people are consuming books. Sure. I hate to use that word consuming, but when people download a book on their Kindle, I think in some ways they're grabbing content out of it's different than buying it from a store. But. Oh, no question about it. And for example, we're here at the Park Place Hotel in downtown Traverse City. This morning, there was a gentleman sitting next to me here on the sofas where he was reading Gone with the Wind on his little device. He was reading Gone with the Wind? Yeah. I'm like, okay. We just got through the war right now. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's just fascinating how people consume books. You're right. Did you give a damn at all? Or? I did. I said, well, frankly, that's a good... Sorry. No, you had to. You really had to go there. If you weren't going to go there, yeah. Chuck was going to go there. So, you mentioned TV a few seconds ago, and we got a couple seconds here. You're kind of diving into that little realm, aren't you? Yeah, I love television. I love shows like Homeland and Breaking Bad. We had Vince Gilligan here from Breaking Bad the previous February. I think storytelling right now, narrative storytelling on cable television is a very fascinating landscape. It is. And for a writer, maybe you get this question too. How do you break into this business? It used to be I could tell younger writers, go to magazines, start a regional clip file, then break into a national magazine and try to get a contract. Right. But that's all evaporated for a number of reasons. But I think now younger people are looking towards the world of television and long-form storytelling as a place to make a living. Because what we do at the Writers Series is talk about writing as a way of life and writing and storytelling as a way to make a living. I think they can go hand in hand. I grew up here, and I'm able to be here because I've been able to carve out a living as a writer, and I feel it was time to turn around and do something back for the community. So. Yeah, well, not only a living, but a very darn good writer, as anyone would agree. One last thing, when you think about your career as a writer, how would you sum it up? Do you think? Well, I'm starting a third book right now, and I hope to write a whole bunch more. They're nonfiction books. So to sum it up, I would say that the nonfiction books take about 2 or 3 years. I would love to be able to write, say, a fiction series and do a book a year for about 5 years and change it up a little bit. I think that I write well about people who are forced to make or try to make really difficult decisions at the least opportune moment. Both of my books have been about kind of crises and in harm's way and horse soldiers. So.
Right, exactly. And that's where you're at right now. So, well, hey, thanks again for joining the show.
You.
We appreciate that. If we want to find out more about the Writers Series, how can we do that?
NationalWritersSeries.org.
Okay.
We'll get you to our schedule and homepage.
Have a great event on Tuesday.
Tell
Mitch that the Going Gonzo Show said hello and all his listeners in Grand Rapids.
I will.
And we appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, coming up next, we're going to have another guest here. He has a nice little hat on. I like that. So we'll find out what his hat means. And he's wearing some cool sunglasses. So we'll get to Chuck here in a second on the Going Gonzo Show on News Talk 1340 WJRW.